Hi, this is Kanchana Murthy, working as Assistant Professor in SMS College of Technology in Computer Science and Engineering Department. Um, in this video, we are going to see about the white box testing. So, before move on to this video, we define testing. So, let's understand the problem. Software issues often starts with the person making an error. This is human mistake. Then creates a fault inside the software's code. If this fault is reached during operation, it can cause a failure in the system. So our job as a tester is to find these faults before they cause failure. So here is the quick look at what we'll cover today. So we'll start with the concept of testing from the inside out, and next the definition of white box testing. Finally, we'll focus on main areas of coverage in this testing technique. So here, imagine you buy a complex device and you can use it from outside, but truly master it and fix the problem. You need to understand its internal workings. So this is the core idea of testing from the inside out. So white box testing is the software testing techniques where we examine the internal structure and workings of the software application. So unlike testing the user interface. So it's commonly used during the unit integration and system testing. So we'll cover it later. So we provide a test case input. It goes through the application code, that is the white box, and we check the test case output. So the focus is on the code logic here. So the process of white box testing is straightforward. So it follows a sequence: input, processing, and test execution and output. White box testing is the type of dynamic testing. So the main techniques which we'll look at next are based on the code coverage, that is statement coverage, branch coverage, path coverage, and conditional coverage. So uh, white box test focus on four main areas of code coverage, as I told you. So the first area is statement coverage. The goal is to execute every line of code in the program at least once. So this is the simplest form of code coverage and ensures there is no statement is left during this testing. So next one is branch coverage. So a branch represents a decision point in the code. So typically an if, else, or switch condition. So here, this is to ensure that every possible outcome, that is a path from a decision point, is executed. For example, if an if else statement, we must have a test case to execute both the true branches, that is if block, and the false branches, that is the else block. The next one is path coverage, a more comprehensive and intensive technique. So a path is the complete sequence of statement and branches that are intensive technique. So a path is complete sequence of statement and branches that are executed from the entry to the exit of the module. So the goal is to execute every possible independent path through the code at least once. Since the number of paths can be very large in the complex code, achieving 100% path coverage is often difficult or impractical. So the image illustrates a control flow graph where testing all the sequences, that is path from node 1 to node 7 is the objective. So the final focus is on conditional coverage. So this technique focuses on the expression that use logical operators like and or. So this is to ensure every individual and simple condition within the complex decision is tested for both true and a false outcome. For example, in a condition if x less than or equal to 8, sorry, less than 8, we need at least two test cases, once where the condition is true and one where it is false. So this slide provides a detailed example of conditional coverage. So, and if statement, there are two simple conditions. So A greater than 0 and B less than 7. So first test case, A greater than 0 is true since it's an OR condition, so the overall input is true and B less than 7, this condition required to determine the result. So in test case 2, first one is false, second one is true. So this makes the final output true. Then third case, both are false. So this makes the final output false. So these test cases ensure that each simple condition is tested with both true and false values across the sets of tests, which is the aim of test conditional coverage. So to summarize, we discussed the definition and process of white box testing. The critical part is to focus on areas or coverage techniques, the statement, branch, and path, and conditional coverage. So these techniques are essential for thorough check of the software's internal logic and structure. Then these are all the reference, including textbooks and online resources. So thank you for your attention. Thank you.